Superbike and welcome to another episode of the AusMoto Show, the place to catch up with your favourite Australian motorcycle racers, on-road, off-road and everything in between. Coming up on today's show, recently taking out the Ep3 class at the Australian 4-day Enduro and racing in the Yamaha Australian Off-Road Championship presented by MX Stores, it's KTM's Riley McGillvray. Then racing for Penrite Honda in the My Bike Motorcycle Insurance Australian Superbike Championship presented by Motul, it's two-time ASBK champ Troy Herfoss joining us from Queensland before he heads to Darwin for round 4. And finally, Serco Yamaha's Rhys pops into studio to chat about his year racing MX2 in the Penrite ProMX Championship presented by AMX Superstores. Remember to follow along on socials using the handle and hashtag AusMoto Show. All right, let's kick in. Our first guest in the studio, racing in the E3 class in AORC. It's KTM's Riley McGillvray. Riley, welcome. I know you've spent 7.5 hours in the car to be here today.
Thanks for having me, Kate, and thanks for having me on the show.
Now, you were basically born onto a KTM. Tell us about how the journey with the Orange family has been for you. Yeah,
it's been unreal. Like you said, I've been on KTM for a long time now, since I've been on a 65. So it's been a hell of a journey. I've pretty well gone through every single make and model they've had, and I've worked my way right up to 500 now.
So you started racing in AORC at the age of 15 in 2019, which is a little bit later than most people. You don't have a motocross background either, but it has been pretty good, smooth sailing ever since then. You took the EJ Championship win, and now this is your first year in the E3 Seniors. How has it all been for you?
Yeah, like you said, it was a little bit of a later start. Growing up, I did lots of sort of local club races, and in 2019 we decided to do our first year racing AORC in J3 when I was 15. So it was a bit of a sort of a big decision for us, obviously, to start travelling the country. A lot of extra money and just the expenses and accommodation and travel time. But yeah, it's all been good. I've won the J3 in my first year, and then J4 the previous year, and then we had a year off for COVID, and then I won EJ as well, and then we've got a Vic Junior team on the 4-day last year, and then again this year I just won the 4-day in E3 and the junior team again. So it's been all pretty well smooth sailing. Last year I had a bit of an unfortunate injury at the start of the year. I blew my knee out, which made the year to be harder than it should have. So it was a bit of a struggle all year trying to keep on top of physio and keeping myself fit and healthy all year, but just kept pushing along, obviously, and managed to get it done. Yeah,
wow. So for the past 2 years, you have been on the 500 EXC. That is a lot of bike to be wrangling around some of those tight, twisty, sandy conditions that you ride in for AORC.
Yeah, like you said, 100%. It's a lot of bike, and we race all sorts of conditions in the AORC, grass tracks, technical stuff, lots of rocks, lots of sand. So yeah, it's obviously been put through its paces, but I've been enjoying it.
Now tell us about the bike dramas that you had coming into round 3 and 4 QMP of AORC, so Queensland Motorcycle Park, because you ended up riding on something that you weren't expecting.
Yeah, 100%. It was a little bit unfortunate, but on the way up to Queensland, our trailer got broken into, got my race bike and one of my practice bikes stolen. So I was on the Thursday night, so Friday before the race, I was left without a bike. But it was luckily that Kyle was good to us. I gave him a call first thing on Friday morning. I was surprised he even picked up. It was like 7 o'clock, and by about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I had a bike sitting there at the track, a 500, which I was used to, but obviously it was stock, didn't have any of the parts I usually had. I put in some of my suspension, which was unreal to still have that sitting in the trailer. But once we had all that together, I was walking around the pits, getting parts off different people, trying to put this race bike together to try and do my best.
Let's talk about the Australian 4-day Enduro, because you were just over in WA. And I think for people at home that may not understand what the 4-day Enduro is, can you just kind of give us it in a little nutshell?
Yeah, the 4 days are big race, obviously, for all the off-road community. It's a little bit different to any other race we usually do. So we got 4 days of unassisted racing. So it's 4 days of special tests. We have massive days, over 200 kilometres every day, and lots of different conditions over the 4 days. Over in WA, we had grass tracks, rocky tests, and we had a full day of sand there as well. So we pretty well went through all the conditions you could think of, and yeah, the whole competition is obviously about keeping your body fit, keeping your bike in one piece, and making sure that your whole team and everyone keeps together.
Yeah, and you have to do everything yourself, all the mechanics, which is incredible, and it really does set you up for the international 6-day enduro, which is like the Olympics of off-road overseas. But you won your class, which was an incredible accomplishment. Yeah,
100%. I was super excited to win E3. Like you said, yeah, unassisted. We get 15 minutes every afternoon to work on our bikes, and that was it. So we're doing 2 tyre changes, air filters, checking over bikes, all in 15 minutes. So yeah, it was obviously tight, and you needed to make sure that everything was working and keep prepared and keep on top of your bike work all day, so nothing sort of snuck up on you and you didn't run out of time when you needed to.
Very cool. We still have some more AORC to go, rounds 5 and 6 in Edenhope, Victoria. What can we expect from that 2 days?
Yeah, it's a pretty cool track. I like that property. It's sandy kind of grass track, so it'll be definitely a tough one. In Victoria, different to other states, we're the only state that does a cross country on the Saturday and we do sprints on a Sunday. So 3 hours of racing is obviously going to be tough. There's going to be everyone will have big tanks on, so it'll be good to obviously get out there and do a cross country different to sprints that we usually do. Yeah, cross country usually leaves the track a lot more rough as well. So backing it up on the Sunday, everyone's going to be sore. The tracks will be rough, and obviously, yeah, another good days of racing.
Well, good luck for the rest of AORC and good luck for the rest of the year. Thank you so much for coming in today.
No worries, thank you.
And don't you go anywhere, because coming up we have Penrite Honda's Troy Herfoss and Serco Yamaha's Rhys. See you in a minute.
Two bikes are go. Great start there from the middle of the front row of the grid with Jones, but Herfoss will try and go around the outside. Troy Herfoss coming back down the inside of Honda corner. He's been doing a lot of riding on the motocross bike, and that's coming to the core now because Jones back on the inside. What a move from Mike Jones. He's up the inside again. Can he hug the apex and not give Jones the advantage back on the inside? Jones turns the bike very, very quickly, right close to the apex, and gets back up the inside of Herfoss. Herfoss back on the inside again, down into Ducati corner, gets the bike stopped and turned, and Jones will have to work very hard to try and get the run out of this corner. I think Herfoss has managed to just get his nose ahead, but Jones has got the better line as they come to the line.
Second quicker, and here he goes again.
Herfoss up the inside. Can he get the bikes closer to the apex? He can. There's no room for Jones to turn it back on the inside. Herfoss is in the lead. We know he's good into Honda corner turn 4. Herfoss is going to try and turn it inside. Crew Halliday comes through as well. Jones and Herfoss touch as they come out of Pirelli corner. And I think Herfoss has got the run. Is Jones going to be able to come back? He can't. He just falls a fraction short. And Troy Herfoss takes his first ever Superbike race win at Queensland Raceway. Superbikes are go. Great start once again from Troy Herfoss and Mike Jones. And I think that Troy Herfoss may just have enough to get around. No, he doesn't. So Herfoss up the inside of Jones.
Where is Halliday still there? Yeah, okay, the shenanigans are starting between these guys now, and that is going to slow them down even more.
There goes Jones through a little bit of a touch there as they come through the Ducati corner.
Herfoss on the inside now, goes on the brakes and makes the pass into Honda corner on his Honda.
Last lap for Troy Herfoss and Mike Jones as they get around Michael Edwards there. Jones is back on the inside at the fastest corner on the track. He's going to lead them out onto the back straight for the final time.
And there he goes up the inside. He's made the move.
Jones has run wide.
He's made it. Herfoss has got to block it, but he can't. So up the inside, he's going to go up the inside, he goes up the inside. Look at that, what an incredible move by Herfoss. Oh, it's not over yet.
That's what he predicted was the late double shuffle, and it's Herfoss. He's just going to get there. He just got there, Steve Martin, in his 100th race for Honda. Troy Herfoss takes the win.
Some brilliant racing at the recent round of ASBK, and joining us now on Zoom is the man that stole the show from the Herfoss headquarters in Queensland. It's two-time ASBK champ, Troy Herfoss. Troy, it's great to see you.
Thanks for having me, Kate, and welcome to my little shack.
We just watched a clip of you obliterating the field at Queensland Raceway, an enthusiastic return to form. Was it a relief to know that you can get back to the front and dominate like you did?
Oh, it was a huge relief and a big surprise as well. I definitely felt like a good result was coming because we had a good test there, and I've been building over the last year, as everyone's been able to see. But yeah, huge surprise to take such a dominant weekend like that and sort of put myself straight back into the championship battle. It was, yeah, just a crazy surprise, really.
I spoke to your crew chief, Paul Free, asking him what had clicked for you. And he said, I know, I just can't tell you. Can you shed any more light there for us?
There's been just so much work in the background from everyone inside the team. Paul, myself, Charlie, and we've all been working hard to try and ride the bike in a different way and set the bike up in a different way, and yeah, basically just trying to move with the times. Really, the bikes are changing, and it's up to me to adapt to the bike, and yeah, we're all trying to adapt. Paul's been around for a long time, and I've been around for a long time, and what's worked for us both in the past maybe not working now, and we're both adapting really well to what's ahead of us.
So, Troy, there's another red bike at the front of the pack, Josh Waters. He's 22 points ahead, but we still have 4 more rounds to go. So this championship is still within your reach.
Yeah, well, it did seem like it was out of reach going into Queensland because we just, it's hard when you just lose by such a big margin. It seems like it's impossible to get back there, but the reality is, it doesn't matter how much you win by, you get the same points deficit. And I just had such a good round. I managed to half the points gap to Josh in one round. And now we move into a track we're both pretty good at. And then we go to a track that I know Josh doesn't really enjoy before we go back to a track that I don't seem to really enjoy. So I've got to make the most of these next 2 rounds. And then who knows, if I can get back to Phillip Island within the championship hunt, strange things seem to happen at the end of the year. So I just want to get myself back in the fight, and then we'll see where we end up.
Okay, Darwin, round 4 is on our doorstep. You had some great success there last year. Are you pumped to get back there?
Yeah, I'm really excited to go there. One, because it's probably the best round we have of the year. With the supercars, it's always exciting. The racing there last year was really close. I've had some huge ups and downs of that track. But the main thing for me is I know Josh really likes it. I know I really like it. And Mike Jones also has had a lot of success there as well. So we're looking at probably the first round of the year where us 3 guys are heading into that round, probably with a fairly confident opinion of how we can go. So there's been all the other tracks have sort of been a bogey track for us, or one rider or bike seem to excel a lot. So we're going to this track, and there's probably 3 guys that think they can win the race, and probably more, to be honest. But I'm just talking about the guys that have been at the front the last 2 rounds. So it's going to be really exciting.
So, Troy, I believe that you guys are working with the charity again for the Darwin round. What a great initiative. Yeah,
really excited to work with the same guys as last year. We're working with Lorraine White. She done the livery last year. It's been a massive work in progress, but she's put a hell of a lot of work in. And she's come up with a really, really cool paint scheme. And I can't wait for everyone to see it. We're also working with the charity in Melbourne. We're doing all the same stuff as last year, and looking to raise, upwards of $40,000 if we can. And we've got some really cool stuff to auction off. Yeah, super excited to share that with everyone, to be honest.
Troy, the bike is looking incredible. Tell us about the Indigenous artwork that we're going to be seeing on the Honda Fireblade for Darwin.
It's a combination of the wild honey country, which you can see through the bike. It's sort of Lorraine sort of give us a bit of an insight of an aerial view of her homeland, basically. And the other side of that is the freshwater crocodiles, I guess. and you can see that through my number plate throughout the bike. It's hard to see without being there in front of it. There's so much detail in it. I want everyone to come past the V8 Supercar paddock and my paddock at the race and see the bike, because there's been a huge amount of detail that Lorraine's put into the bike, and it's a second go at it now. So she's had 2 goes at this bike, and she's doing such an amazing job. So really looking forward to sharing that with you.
Now, the big question, Troy. A few years ago, you took the win, and when you crossed the finish line, you attempted to floss. Will we see more flossing?
Oh, yeah, that's right. That was all the rage there for a few weeks, wasn't it? I did a terrible go at that. But that was such a good year that I probably was expecting to win that, because I was having such a good run. So maybe I practiced it a bit more. But these days, Kate, it's not sort of like that for me. I've been fairly surprised when I crossed the line in first place. But hey, we'll look up what the latest social media craze is, and I'll try and get this old body to move in that direction.
So good to chat. Thank you for chatting, Troy, and we'll see you in Darwin. Best of luck.
Thanks, Kate. See you there.
Well, after the break, we catch up with Serco Yamaha's Rhys. Don't go anywhere.
He is ready to go. Let's watch here and see who will jump. Great jump from Wilson Todd out of the gate. That is almost a guaranteed hole shot. Next thing you find that all of those muscles are cramping and locked in as he tries to force the issue here. Beautiful pass up the inside of Liam Andrews. But have a look at the charge from Nathan Crawford, the factory KTM rider. I guess you've got to give a bit of a tip of the cap to Nathan Crawford to be able to drop that kind of lap time in the dying stages here. How is the charge into the face, up the inside? Can he make the pass stick? Not quite close enough. Crawford to the inside, scrubs and stays low. Can he get there? Oh, how about the speed? And they head towards the checkered flag. Wilson Todd on the Terra Firma Honda takes a sensational victory here and starts the day at Gillman in fine form.
As we get set for Pirelli, MX2, Moto number 2 to get it underway. Again, Todd launched out of that gate.
Brilliant jump out of the gate from the number 1 machine.
Here it is, Brodie Connolly around the outside of Rhys, but man, he made that look easy. Right now, he is battling it out with the 22 machine of Rhys. Now, if Crawford gets a good run out of here, he'll get a good slingshot. Will he be able to get inside him? He certainly does.
And starts to edge ever so closely to the back of Serco Yamaha rider Rhys Budd, and almost made the pass. He came from a little ways back to right on him.
No legger.
And checkered flag. What an amazing moment. Wilson Todd taking double victory here at Gillman for round 5 of the Penrite Oils ProMX Championship, brought to you by AMX Superstores.
Some great racing from ProMX Gillman in South Australia right there. And joining me on the desk racing in MX2 on the Serco Yamaha is Rhys Budd. Rhys, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks, Kate. Super excited to be here.
Excellent. Now, some really good points grab there at Gillman, a 4 and a 5. Following on from your first ProMX round win, which was massive at Maitland. It's great to see some consistent results coming through.
Yeah, definitely. It's getting a lot better, that's for sure. You know, the weekend wasn't ideal. Obviously, I want to be a little bit closer to that pointy end, but like you said, 2 pretty consistent races. I'm still in the hunt for the championship overall. So, yeah, coming off that first win at Maitland, such a special moment for me. Had a lot of family, friends there. So, to grab that one in front of them is absolutely amazing. So, I was definitely heading into the weekend with a whole lot of confidence. But, yeah, unfortunately, it wasn't super ideal, but I wasn't super disappointed at the same time. So, yeah, 2 pretty decent motos. And, yeah, we just now slide our change over to Toowoomba in a few weeks' time.
So we'll talk about more ProMX in a minute, but let's wind it back to where it started for you as a little rat bag from Mount Druitt in Western Sydney. You came from a family of racers. Did you know that it was going to be you that came out as the pro racer in the crew?
I guess that's the only thing that you hope for. I guess that's where it all begins, and you watch people on TV, and only can wish you that you can be in that position one day. So that was obviously me at that point at a young age, and always looked up to the people where I am right now. So I can't say I knew I was going to be in this position, but you know, very fortunate to have some awesome parents who stuck with me and spent a whole lot of money and things like that to get me where I am now. So yeah, so thankful to be where I am, and it's such an awesome feeling.
Now, you've stepped up to Serco Yamaha, but you've ridden quite a few other manufacturers before. But do you remember the first time you got on a Yamaha?
Yeah, back in the start of 2020, I jumped on a Yamaha 250, and from the get-go, absolutely loved it. It's such an amazing bike, and just everything with it, the suspension, the power of the bike, just was super comfy from the get-go. So, and since then, it's been nothing but a blast with the Yamaha Blue Crew.
So Serco Yamaha, this is a new team for you this year. How have you found the transition? Is there more responsibility compared to Yamaha, who you were with previously?
I don't think there's any more responsibility. You know, everything's very similar when you get on a race team. You got to make sure you put in the hard work and do everything right. So I feel like I'm doing that. Got an awesome bond with each team member here. We have a lot of banter at the racetrack and things like that. And my mechanic Teasy, we've got an awesome connection. So we put in a lot of hard work to get the bike where it is. And at the moment, I couldn't be any happier with the bike setup, the whole team, and it just makes racing awesome.
Now, many people behind the scenes admire the work that you do on track, but also very much so off track. Motocross is so competitive. How do you stand out amongst the rest?
Yeah, I guess you got to suffer that little bit more. You know, everyone is training and working hard now these days. So it just comes down to who wants to work the hardest and put their body through the most, I guess. So it just all comes down to those little 1%ers these days. And I feel like I'm one of those guys that wants to put in that little bit extra work and make myself suffer to make race days that little bit easier.
Your number 22. Give us the backstory on that.
I guess like any young kid, you know, when I was 5, 6, 7 years old, I was watching Chad Reed and him being an Australian guy, and yeah, he's someone I really looked up to as a young kid, and yeah, hence the number 22. And ever since then, I've been that throughout my whole career. I made one change in 2022 to switch over to number 3, but yeah, now back to the 22. It's what I've grown up with, and it's what everyone knows me as. So yeah, Chad Reed's an idol of mine, and that's why I'm number 22.
They say never meet your heroes, but I'm guessing you've met Chad Reed, and he's all right.
Can't remember the year exactly, but yeah, got to meet him, which was pretty cool. You know, and I feel like now I'm kind of in a similar position. You know, I have little kids coming up and wanting photos with me, so to have that is such an awesome feeling.
Yeah, it's super cool. So we're seeing a solid amount of blue at the front for ProMX, especially in the MX1 class with that new Gen 450. How are you finding the 2023 250? Yeah,
absolutely amazing. I really love the bike. We've got it in a really good spot right now. We've worked hard to get it where I'm at, and I feel really comfortable. And as you can see, not only in the MX2 class, but the MX1 class as well, it's starting to pop up to the front. So it's awesome for the Blue Crew guys to have them right up front in both classes, and also the MX3 class as well. So it's a good thing for us.
So you just turned 22. How do you see the trajectory for your career playing out?
Yeah, it's awesome. I'm still at a very young age for a motocross racer, so I expect to keep growing over the next few years and just getting stronger and also smarter. I think that's very key, is having a lot more knowledge as you get older, more experience and things like that. So I plan on just keep growing and getting better and better, and that's where I see my future.
So we're past the halfway mark for ProMX. We've got Toowoomba up next. You're sitting P4 in the championship. What's the strategy for the rest of the year?
Just got to keep working hard, got to keep chipping away and do what I'm doing. I feel like I'm definitely on the right track. I'm heading in the right direction, that's for sure. So as we said earlier, I'm coming off some consistency, which is good. So that's super important heading into these final few rounds, and heading into Toowoomba. It's a track I really enjoy. I love hard pack and ruts and all those things. And I think I'm only sitting 13 points behind third place, so I'm not far off. So just got to keep that consistency up and keep working hard and just being smart. So I'm really looking forward to this final hunt in the championship.
Thank you so much for joining us on the AusMoto show, Rhys, and good luck in Toowoomba.
Thanks so much for having me. I appreciate it, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks' time.
Yes, you will, and so will you at home. Jump online, grab your tickets to round 6 of the Penrite ProMX Championship presented by AMX Superstores in Toowoomba on June 25. And let's hit top gear with the MyBike Motorcycle Insurance Australian Superbike Championship presented by Motul as it heats up in Darwin for round 4 with the supercars June 16 to 18. Then Eden Hope in Victoria hosts round 5 and 6 of the Yamaha Australian Off-Road Championship presented by MX Store, July 22nd to 23rd. And a shout out to the juniors with the Australian Junior Track Championship, July 8th and 9th at Hunter Motorcycle Club in New South Wales, and the Australian Junior Motocross Championship in Acacia Hills, Darwin. Just finally, some awesome Aussies overseas. Jess Gardner on the podium at the Swiss round of the World Endurance Championship. Jay Wilson takes another round win in Japan. Jack Holder comes P3 at the Prague Speedway Grand Prix. And the Lawrence brothers continue their domination in the US. Thanks for joining us on the AusMoto Show. Remember to follow along on socials, and we'll see you next time.